Let's get sweaty.
Hey guys, welcome to a Shenmue Dojo video. Today's video I'm picking up in the aftermath of the Shenmue 4 trailer obviously being proven to be not real. Obviously Wisenet put out their statement on Monday, which I'll come on to very shortly. I will approach the tone of the message a little bit. Obviously we are disappointed that it isn't like a real trailer, or that Shenmue 4 potentially isn't in development. We don't know, but I suspect it probably isn't, in my mind at least. I have seen people go after Wisenet a little bit around the tone of the statement that was put out, but as a company I think they need to protect themselves. But also I hope this has a positive impact and this isn't lost on Wisenet, on Sega, on publishers, and we can channel this into the push for Shenmue 4, because ultimately that is the most important thing here. And I do believe that this was done with the best of intentions. Hopefully that will land somewhere. And what I want to talk about here is a sort of recap of events, the impact I feel it's had, and also where I think we're going to go next from this. So let's dive into the recap itself. So, trailer launched on 4th of December. It popped up on some Japanese forum apparently, although I never personally saw it, or no, I don't think anybody did, but I could be wrong on that. Ended up on the Dojo forums, ended up everywhere else. Absolute madness ensued from there. Mass media coverage, pretty much every major gaming website picked it up. Twitter was mental, YouTube was mental. Everything went absolutely just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So that started the trailer itself, I think, is brilliant. I know it's probably, looking at it, a lot of people are talking about AI and everything else, but take that away from it. For me, that for me was the Shenmue 4 trailer I wanted, in terms of action, in terms of story, in terms of everything. For me, it's the best Shenmue trailer I've ever seen, and I stand by that despite it not being real in inverted commas. So there's that side of it there. The person making it, I don't know who they are, I don't know where they are, but I get the impression from this trailer they were just trying to do something. Now, I don't know what they were looking to achieve. If they were looking to achieve mass media exposure, they've absolutely gone and done that. I don't think, and I think Wandering Through Shenmue said this in his video, and I agree with this, I don't think this was a troll. I don't think someone sat there at a desk going, hey, I'm going to mess around with the Shenmue community. No, I don't think it's anything like that at all. I think they were looking to get Shenmue some exposure, and have successfully done that, but on the flip side of things have definitely tread on some toes. So there's sort of a plus and a minus there, I guess, with it. But personally, and I don't know, I don't think this has been done through malice. I think this is somebody who just wanted to get Shenmue some attention, and has definitely done that in both the best and probably in some aspects more difficult ways as well. So coming on, all of that's there. Wisenet put their statement out, which I'm going to bring up on the screen for you right now. I won't read it out word for word, but I've done that in a video previously, but you get the general idea. They're obviously not happy about it. They're going to look at relative action as they need to, so they should, it's their logo, etc. And they work, they're working on Shenmue. They worked on Shenmue 3. We don't know what they're doing with the franchise in itself. And they've issued an apology to fans and all related parties for the confusion. Now, I know people are reading into that statement in terms of what it may mean, and I'll cover a bit of it there, but that's quite unequivocal. No, this isn't us. We're exploring our options. We apologise for the inconvenience, etc, etc. Now, I've seen a few people go off on Wisenet a little bit about the tone of this. I get it. I understand all of the tone from it, because they have every right to be annoyed by it and people using their logo without their permission. Fine. Absolutely understand all of that. I would hope somewhere down the line that calmer heads prevail a little bit here, and that once the dust has settled, and I'll come on to this in a minute, they can look at the impact this has had. Now, I do say this with the hope of it hasn't messed up any internal plans they might have, because that would be the worst case scenario. But at the same time, when you look at everything else that's gone on around it, then I think you might look at it in a different way, potentially. I don't know. Everyone here will have their own opinion on this. Now, it is interesting that Ezra Krabbe popped up an article on this as well earlier on Monday. I've linked it here so you can have a quick look at it for you, and he's gone through the general history of it and everything else there. And has basically said that the locations that have been used, Shuzo, etc., the Hanging Temple, Mongolia, and more, it's like basically saying it's hard to see them included in a single game. So it doesn't seem like a realistic feat, but essentially the person is going to have to know Shenmue inside out to get anything close to what they've got to. So that got me thinking, I guess, a little bit there around all of that and how this could have been put together. Now, there's theories out there that people work for Wisenet and leak this or whatever, and I don't know any of this, but let's go through what is actually out there, right, in terms of things that are potentially in future games. Much of this has been detailed in the documents and the artworks that James and I released. When you look at Mao, you look at references to other characters, some of that's referenced. You look at the map from GDC 2014, which shows the locations across where the original VF RPG was due to go, and if you look at it, it had all the chapter tiles dotted around the relative map of China and Japan, so you had all of that there as well, so it shows where we're going. Yu Suzuki himself confirmed Shuzo to us in 2024, so we know that's happening. Ren and his sort of Mongolian links have been confirmed. We found it in the artworks, as I mentioned earlier. If you go onto the Shenmue 1 and 2 Japanese website for the HD re-releases, it's referenced there as well. So it's in public domain. So much so that when James raised it with Yu Suzuki himself, he was almost like taken aback by it and almost was like, oh, I don't know if I can answer that question, so we're going to move on. So there's that element to it as well. Shenmue Master's done a massive plethora of interviews with Yu Suzuki over the years, and it goes into a lot of the lore, a lot of the characters, a lot of things that haven't happened yet. Go and check those out. We've done a podcast on those if you want to check out those in relative detail and what's going on there. Tente's been mentioned in a couple of guidebooks. Nathan mentioned that to me in a group chat as we was talking about that as well. Project Berkeley footage with Shenhua's powers, for example. You've got the beta shots. You've also got within Shuzo itself, you've got in the premiere book the map that Switch translated in terms of what that area might look like, shops and everything else there. So, in short, there is a lot of info that is already out there that I suspect what this person has gone and done has gone and put all that together. Outside, bear in mind also you've got the chapter cards, everything on the dojo website and any other bits and pieces that are out there, even going back way back. They've obviously gone around, put all that together and gone, right, how can I make this? And that's what they've gone and done. So you have to know where it is and you have to look for it very hard. So this is clearly somebody who understands Shenmue and knows what they're doing when it comes to the lore and everything else around it. So they've made this, I think, with a lot of research in mind. And as I say, with, I guess, a lot of passion and looking for the best for the series in some aspects. Whether they've achieved that or not, we don't know. I'd like to think they have in terms of the exposure we've got and the impact this has had. Some may disagree with me on that, and that's totally fine. So talking about the impact and now where we are with it, the biggest single impact here I saw was fans coming together to enjoy this trailer. And I know lots of people will even go, well, it's not real, but I love it anyway. And that's brilliant. And as you know, my initial reaction was, well, it was fake, but then I talked myself into a little bit, could it be real? Obviously it isn't, but this I don't know, it's got people going, it got people talking. And I said this again, it's been quoted several times in other videos. James and I have worked very hard over 5-ish years now to get the Shenmue community hyped, get them united, and get people behind the push for 4. And, you know, I'm going to pat myself on the back a tiny little bit here. I think we've done a pretty good job. But this trailer, in my mind, has taken all of that work and done more in 4 days in terms of uniting the community and getting people hyped than we have in 5 years. And I don't have a problem saying that, because when you look at the noise from the community around this, I think it backs it up personally. And I don't want to diminish the work we've done or that others have done, because that is not the intention here. I just want to recognise the positive impact this has had on the Shenmue community. People have been hyped about this. People are still hyped about what's in this trailer right now. That, for me, is a massive thing. I mean, I'm going to take a couple of quotes here. So one from the forums, Wu Ying Ren, who I have spoken to on and off over the years anyway. But he said to me, as you know, my initial reaction was that it was fake, but I gradually talked myself into believing it could be real. It reminded me how much I care about the franchise and how desperate I am for some sort of closure. Powerful words there, and I think a lot of us can resonate with that, especially the Lapsed fans who saw this. Another quote from YouTube. I apologise, I didn't get the username when I was getting this video together, but I'll read out your quote. Drop us a comment if this was you. It says, to be honest, I couldn't care less whether this trailer is real or fan-made with AI. It filled me with joy, reignited the spark of hope, and made the Shenmue community overflow euphoria. If Shenmue 4 is never announced, I will treasure this video deep within my heart. Hashtag Shenmue forever. Now, that, again, is extremely powerful. Yes, Yes, it has tread on toes. Yes, Wisenet have every right to be annoyed. But look at what this has done for the community. Look at the amount of positivity this has brought to people. Look at how united we are. The discussions, everything around it. It's exploded. It's absolutely exploded. It was like the good old days with Shenmue 3 rumours left, right and centre. And you approached everyone with a bit of trepidation, but you enjoyed it and we were united behind that cause. And this, for me, is exactly the same. Then you talk about sort of the media coverage. It's gone mental. There's articles everywhere. When you combine it, obviously, with the BAFTA, the Times Square thing. You've got Shenmue 3 Enhanced coming up, which I'm going to mention a bit later as well. It shows there's a market here for this. It shows that people want Shenmue 4. It shows that a lot of people want Shenmue 4. Coming onto the dojo's website itself. So over that 4-day period, we had 1 million unique requests to the website. That is around a 300 to 350% increase on our traffic in that 4-day period, right? That is insane. If you want a whole number for total requests, 4 million in 4 days, right? And that was before the Wisenet statement. It's probably still up there even now with that statement going out. Go over to social media, go to Twitter, go to YouTube, look at the videos that are on there. I've got a collection on the forums with them. But I would hazard a guess that this video's probably had 1 million hits now. And lots of the feedback has been pretty damn positive around it. That is amazing. That is what we want. Posts on X have got hundreds of thousands of views, right? Hundreds of thousands of views. Even the statement threatening legal action has got media coverage. Okay, you can spin that as a negative, and I understand all of it. But we are excited. We are massively excited about where Shenmue 4 can go. Yes, there is a risk, and I accept that there might be disappointment if 4 does happen, that it doesn't live up to that trailer. But at the end of the day, we may even never find out. Hopefully we do, and I believe we will do. But that is obviously where we are. But the excitement was palpable within the community. I'm excited now talking about it because I've seen this community buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. Not on a level since 3 was released, even around the anime, which had lots of good positive support. No, this was on another level for me, and that is why this impact is so important, and how it should define what we do next. Now, what we do next, that is the difficult bit here, right? We are, in my view, no further ahead in terms of the future of Shenmue 4. Some will say, look at the Wisenet statement, that yeah, they haven't denied that Shenmue 4 is in development. Now, my personal view is that it isn't, and certainly in 2024, unless, of course, Yu Suzuki was bluffing, which he has been known to do on occasion, and I don't want to get in trouble for saying that, that they were looking for a publishing partner. Things could well have changed. In that period, we were well over a year off from that, even 2 years, nearer 2 years off that interview, right? So things could well have changed in that. But my view at the moment is 4 isn't in development. And people have absolutely right to be disappointed in this trailer, disappointed in the motivations around it, and even look at it and go, wow, what's the bloody point? But I'm going to tell you what the bloody point is. The point is to get Shenmue 4. Hashtag let's get Shenmue 4. That is the important thing here. That we channel that energy, we channel that euphoria, we channel that togetherness into the push for January, into 2026, and then see where we are in 12 to 18 months, right? That's what we have to do here. So I haven't sorted things out properly yet for the tweetathon and the messaging and all the rest of it. This has given me food for thought, but I promise you what it's going to focus in on is the noise, the energy, and make the point everybody that actually this shows there's a market for Shenmue here, a market for Shenmue 4 here. There just is. When you think of all of the media coverage around this, when you think back to Sega recognizing the 25th, right? They had probably one of their biggest tweets of the year from that. Over 500,000 hits on one tweet. I think it was the second biggest tweet in November. So couple the BAFTA, Times Square, all the foundational work the tweetathons have been doing, and I think actually you are now starting to demonstrate that there is a viable market for this, but also that the community want this. There's been this narrative around some elements in the media going, well, they don't want a Shenmue 4. The community don't want it. And that message has been really hard to break down, and I like to think we have broken that down to a point. But this just unequivocally answers that now. Yes, the community want a Shenmue 4. And we want that action. We want that storytelling, and that is vitally important to this. Absolutely vitally important to this. So we're going to focus on that. We're going to focus on that market. We're going to focus on that positivity, and we're going to go after it in January and really kick that year off the way we should do. Faraway on the Discord said this as an example for the tweet, and it made me laugh. And you know what? I thought, you're spot on the money here. You guys liked the trailer. This is his quote. You guys liked the trailer. You want to see that happen? Then join us on January the 4th, the first hashtag Let's Get Shenmue 4 tweetathon. That is the energy that we need, right? That is everything there that we want. That is the tone we're going for. Let's hone in on all of that. The discussion, energy in the united community. Combine it all together, and hopefully people can see Wisenet, Sega, everybody can see the bigger picture and the potential and the impact that this has had, and that ultimately we all are pushing towards that one thing, Shenmue 4. That is what we want. Now, I'm going to make a plea out to the fans who have come back to the discussion following all of this and might be sat there a little bit going, where do I go from here? I would implore every single one of you out there who has come back to the fold following this trailer to go, right, this is the impetus that we all needed now. I've seen how the community has reacted to this. We're all excited. We're all united. Join it. Join the party. Join the fun. Join the entertainment. And join the push for Shenmue 4. We lose nothing by trying. We lose absolutely nothing by trying. But if we sit there and don't take advantage of this, nothing will ever happen. But I think this puts us in a really good position to push forward into 2026 and really show the world, everybody, all the doubters, everyone out there, that Shenmue 4 should and will happen. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. I've been rambling on for what would be nearly 20 minutes now, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hopefully enjoying. And hopefully for every single one of you out there that comes out and will join us on the 4th of January. I will do another video in the coming days, maybe about a week or so away, to go through the messaging for that, how it's all going to work, how to get people involved, all of those sorts of things to really start hammering this home and make sure we hit 2026 as hard as we can. Don't forget, guys, like, share, subscribe, all the usual spiel. I'm not going to go into the membership stuff here. You know all about it here. It's not the video to do it. I will be back with a video in the not too distant future, hopefully heading in towards Christmas, Dreams for Saturn 3, the stream on the 19th of December, and the raft of content we have planning coming for 2026 as well. But for now, guys, thank you, as always, to every single one of you who watches these videos, participates in the tweetathons, engages in the discussion on the forums and everything else. And I'll be back with a video in the not too distant future. Take it easy, guys. I'll see you soon.